Guys, so welcome to the Telegram 12 draft recap for 2020. I recorded this once already and I didn't like how it went, so I'm going to try to be really quick. So if I don't get to a pick on your team, I could go on for hours, like hours looking at a draft and dissecting it. Um, but that's just not gonna, that would take hours and people are not going to watch that. So what I'm going to do is trying to find like two picks from you each round and maybe also kind of take a quick look at each team. All right, so what I'll do is first, Clyde Edwards-Helaire is the one that stands out other than George Kittle, but we'll get to that. At 7. Now, this pick, a rookie running back first round, I have what Yates calls a lot of shares of Clyde Edwards-Helaire as myself included, but um, I love this pick. I think he's going to be great this year. It is risky though. I'm someone who used to have, or I had the year of Monty Ball when he was supposed to be really good, and then I don't think he scored more than like 50 fantasy points that year, and now he's probably working in insurance somewhere. So I really like that pick though. You saw what Kareem Hunt did on that team a couple years ago. I'm very hyped for Clyde Edwards-Helaire. Kittle at 10. Look, everyone has their own rankings, and if he didn't draft Kittle with Son, if he didn't draft Kittle here or where Mahomes went, he would not have gotten him at his next pick, which was here at end of round 3. So if that's someone who he believes in, and Kittle's a really good player, he had to pick him with one of these two picks. So that's what he did. So we'll see if that works. Kittle was someone I thought I was going to decide with around here, around this area, top around 3. Um, and I actually ended up being Kelsey. So, and let's see. Zeke, I took Zeke number 2 over Barkley. That most people have that reversed. My thinking is, I've actually said this too once I got my pick after the draft lottery, that I was going to take Zeke. No one believed me. Zeke's already had COVID. They're going to use him in the pass game even more. McCarthy's always kind of used a number 1 running back. Usually, when he's had one, he never usually had one on the Packers. So I like Zeke a lot. He's the safest, I think, even more than McCaffrey. I just think he's a safe, high floor, and still kind of a high ceiling player. I don't see him, if he's healthy, dropping out of the top 5, and that's when I want on my top pick, especially in a 12-team league. I love Josh Jacobs this year, too. I like the stack that Billy did with Josh Jacobs and Tyreek Hill. That's a good start. Mahomes with a new 6-point passing touchdown, setting. He goes top of round 2. It'd be interesting to see if we were back at 4, how high he would have went, but he still wasn't that high. Jackson went a little bit later. I was hoping to have one of these two guys there at the end of round 2 for my pick. I wasn't expecting it though. I was thinking if Mahomes was somehow there, I would have took him. Lamar Jackson, I'm not sure. Cash, he took him. Look, you have Lamar Jackson on your team, you're going to score a lot of points. Fantasy football is about scoring the most points. Lamar Jackson had the most points by any player last year by far. Maybe him and McCaffrey. So, especially in a league where it's 12 teams and, you need to stand out in certain positions. I mean, Lamar Jackson should do that for him. So, Cash for the first 2 ever fantasy picks goes Dalvin Cook and Lamar Jackson. Anything else stand out? Nick Chubb fell to 18 to SN, so he has a stack of Clyde Edwards-Helaire and Nick Chubb. So that's interesting. I took Evans over Godwin, and Evans is already injured, so that's always what you like to see. Uh, I decided to take Thielen over Kelsey, and that will probably haunt me. I love Thielen every year. If he's healthy, he always plays well. He always consistently produces every week too. Doesn't really have much down weeks either. I love that. Um, and I never go tight end early, but for some reason, I just think I should have went Kelsey there. I didn't think I was going to have that decision to make. I didn't think it was going to fall that far. Um, Other than that, I love Chris Carson. Every year, I love Chris Carson. Jonathan Taylor, we'll see about him. They still have Marlon Mack, and Marlon Mack was good last year, so I don't. That's just. I don't like murky situations like that. At least that early. If Jonathan Taylor was there in the 6th round or the 5th, I would very much consider it. But in the 3rd round, and a lot of people are taking him early. I mean, this guy could break out and end up as like a top 5 back, and and Hassan's laughing at everybody. So we'll see. I never liked Amari Cooper, ever. Anyone that takes Amari Cooper, I love it because I'll never draft him on any of my fantasy teams ever. Also, by the way, Cortland Sutton and Kenny Galladay are already hurt too, along with Mike Evans. So this was kind of a rough stretch. Love Cam Akers. Love AJ Brown. Walrus. I love the Walrus, but not in the 4th round. That's way too high. He went over. I think he went over Mark Andrews. Yeah. Dak early, but 6-point passing touchdown. That could be a great pick for George if Odell doesn't, shit on himself. LOL this year. TJ Shark. I love TJ Shark. Le'Veon Bell. That guy could easily, I'm going to say this too, could easily end up as a top 7 running back this year. But by the powers that be, which is Adam Gase and Frank Gore, that could not happen. There's a chance that could not happen. This team is literally built. If you take out the coach, right? And you look at the personnel, it's literally built for Le'Veon Bell to be a top 7 running back, like he was being drafted like last year. He still has skill. As a Jets fan, like watching those games last year, like the offensive line was maybe the worst I've ever seen. They were 4 games in a row. They started Luke Falk, and even when Darnold did come back, I mean, the offensive line is still horrible, and their best wide receiver is Jameson Crowder. So it's like it's still there. If it happens this year, if he's a top 7 back, I will not be surprised at all. However, there's still a chance he might be on a new team or benched in week 6. So I don't know. That's why I stayed away. Love Antonio Gibson, but not in the 5th round. I liked him when I was getting him in drafts in like around here. Maybe a little earlier, maybe like round 8. But out of all the running backs, actually not. I maybe would have took Mostert ahead of Antonio Gibson, but it depends on your team. So I'm not going to kill that pick at all. McLaurin I like. Mark Andrews in the 5th. That's pretty good value. Mostert. I love Mostert this year. Especially if you can get like Tevin Coleman a little bit later. Yeah, if you could stack the, Mostert and Tevin Coleman. That's what I tried to do with Baltimore this year. I tried to get Dobbins, like these 2 picks right here. I tried to get Dobbins and Ingram and just have the Ravens running back situation, which I think is very valuable, especially if they're not going to be running as much with Lamar. But Cash took him 3 picks ahead of me, which without Dobbins makes the pick less valuable, if that makes sense. I would say you need both to get the full value. If both of them, I think, together, if you had Dobbins and Ingram, it's like you're getting like combined, it's like in like a late second, like an Aaron Jones, maybe a Carson, I think. And that's what I was trying to do here, but that didn't work, so I made sure to get Dobbins because I think he's still going to be great, at least in the second half. I'm hoping earlier. And I need Jordan Howard, who I like too, but he's got to he's got to hold on as well. I think the Dolphins should be a lot better this year offensively, and I love their coach too. Love me some Fitzmagic as well. Debo is always high on my list. I love Debo. Just went a little too high for me. For me, but I mean, I still think that's good value. Gallup, I love that cash. That was a great pick. Cooks, I like, but he has like 6 concussions, and I think he's like 1 concussion away from retiring. So I love Deontay Johnson. I was going to take him with one of those 2 picks. I was also my ideal stack here. I did not want to take Josh Allen there. I did not want to take Hunter Henry. My ideal was going to be getting Zach Moss and Deontay Johnson with these 2 picks. I like Jameson Crowder as well. I like Tevin Coleman, but only if you stack him with Mostert. Noah Fant has a lot of. I don't know what the fuck to do with the Broncos, man. I just stayed away from them this year. I don't. Yeah. Christian Kirk, I love. I like that pick. But they have Hopkins, Fitzgerald. Oh my god, getting some texts. Just ignore. Let's see. John Brown, I like this year as well as kind of like a high floor guy. He's a good bench player to have. Marlon Mack in the 10th. I mean, he could be getting like a solid running back too in round 10 in a 12-team league. That's crazy to me. Made sure to get Pollard this year. Brian Edwards, I like a lot. Paris Campbell, I like a lot. Is that 2? Yeah, it's 2 Black Panther picks. I think me and George are reading the same articles. I like Cam Newton a lot too. I did not end up with the quarterbacks I wanted. I wanted Cam Newton and Goff. I think those are the 2. I wanted to. Yeah, that's my goal. I wanted to get Goff and Newton down here, and I would have drafted more running backs and receivers up top there. But whatever. Other than that, that's about it. AJ Dillon, Burrow, another George pick. Jesus. Oh my God. Jesus Christ. All right. We'll do a quick look at the matchups, but not just very quick. I'm not going to go into the teams. This went longer than I wanted it to. So I'm playing Cash in his first ever fantasy matchup. Bill's playing Fawad. Mo and George, Raheel and SN. Yates and Kaleem, and you got AK and Hassan. That's it for this week. I'll see you next week. Hopefully you guys enjoyed. There you go.